So, what if I told you that every single human behavior, everything from anger and jealousy to pure kindness, all comes from the exact same place? Today, we're going to unpack a theory that might just change how you see everything. And where it came from, well, let's just say you'd never ever guess.
Here it is. This is the core idea, the absolute heart of the whole thing. It suggests that all those things we label as bad, ego, anger, jealousy, they aren't really character flaws. They're signals. They're a cry for help that's rooted in feeling unsafe. And love? Well, love is just what's left over when all that fear is gone. So, where did such a huge, world changing idea come from? Not from some fancy university lab or a dusty psychology textbook. Nope. It came from a 35-year-old sulfur crested cockatoo named Joey. And Joey was, by all accounts, absolutely terrified of everything. Just look at this process. It's so simple, but it's incredibly profound. See, Joey wasn't biting because he was aggressive. He was biting because he was scared. So instead of punishing him, his caretaker, Nina Fitzgerald, did something kind of revolutionary. She just focused on one thing, making him feel safe. And the transformation? It was amazing. As soon as the fear disappeared, all that was left was love. That powerful lesson from a little bird became the foundation for a whole new way of understanding human behavior. It's called the ladder of insecurity, and it basically maps all of our actions onto this spectrum of fear and safety. And this is the part that really changes things. When someone gets angry or acts all egotistical, our first instinct is usually to get defensive, right? But what if we saw it differently? What if we could see the insecurity behind the action? Then, suddenly, it's not an attack. It's just a desperate call for help. This ladder gives us a really clear picture of the whole theory. Now, obviously, these percentages aren't hard scientific data, but they show the idea so well. At the very top, with maximum insecurity, you have the most destructive behaviors imaginable. As you move down the ladder, you see things like ego, which is still driven by a pretty big need for someone to say, you're okay. And then way down at the bottom, at 0% insecurity, you just have love. It's our baseline. It's our natural state when fear isn't in the picture. So if insecurity is the problem, then love must be the answer, right? Well, yes. But this theory takes that idea even further. It completely redefines what it even means to be strong. I mean, think about it. Most of us are taught that strength is about power, about control, about being dominant. This theory flips that completely on its head. It says that real power isn't about taking, it's about giving. The ability to love unconditionally without needing anything back, that comes from a place of real inner security. And that is the ultimate form of strength. You can almost think of these two states as being on different radio frequencies. Insecurity is this frantic, high-frequency static. It's totally exhausting, always scanning for threats, always needing validation. It's a direct path to burnout. Love, on the other hand, is this calm, low-frequency hum. It's sustainable, it grounds you, and it nurtures both the person giving it and the one receiving it. The theory actually has a name for this high-frequency state, DSV, or desperately seeking validation. It suggests that a lot of our small talk, maybe even a lot of our social media posts, are really just DSV. We're not actually trying to communicate, we're just making noise because the silence feels threatening and we're hoping someone will tell us that we're okay. Okay, this is where the idea gets really, really big, because this isn't just about our own personal psychology. Let's zoom out for a second and just imagine, what would our world look like if we built our entire society around making people feel safe? In a world like that, everything changes. Our schools would teach empathy right alongside math and reading. Our leaders would be chosen for their compassion, not for their power. Our communities would become these amazing support networks. And when conflicts arise, we'd meet them with empathy, not aggression. It's a pretty radical vision. A huge piece of this is what the theory calls BINT, break intergenerational trauma. We all inherit fears and insecurities that have been passed down for generations. BINT is about making a conscious choice to say, the buck stops here. It's about creating such a safe, loving environment that the next generation doesn't have to carry our emotional baggage. Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Let's bring this right down to earth and look at a few practical things we can start doing in our own lives today. And the steps are actually beautifully simple. First, when someone lashes out at you, instead of getting defensive, just try asking, "Are you okay?" Second, give love freely.
Helping other people is the most sustainable way to do this. Third, get into nature. Go for a hike, a swim, meditate, anything that gets you into that calm, low-frequency state. Fourth, trust your gut. The motto is intuit, do it. And finally, and this might be the most important one, remember that underneath all those layers of insecurity, at your core, you are already perfect.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We spend so much time and energy on advancing our technology and our society. But what if our next great evolutionary leap isn't external at all? What if it's internal? What if it's a collective shift where we finally learn to stop reacting to fear with more fear, and we start, instead, to respond with love?